An affordable walk-in bathtub allows you to enjoy bathing again without the fear of falling. Tubs come in many sizes and all can be customized to meet specific needs. Boca tubs offer the lowest step-in possible. Ella features luxury and design excellence, and independent home tubs are low noise.
Having an affordable walk-in tub has improved the ability for me to move around easier during the day, and getting in my tub at least twice a week has done wonders with my muscles.
Right now, financing is available that can make your payment as low as $150 a month. Call for details or go online, affordablewalkinbathtubs.net. Take your first step towards safety, security, and feeling better with an affordable walk-in bathtub.
I would highly recommend affordable walk-in tubs for anyone who's looking to get the quality of their life back.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. It's a Friday morning. We're talking politics. State Assembly race in District 31. Got two candidates going for that April 5th special election. We have one candidate, a first-time guest here in the studio today. You're welcome to call in at 436-ME-TV option 11. This program is sponsored today by Affordable Walk-In Bathtubs. Back in a moment. So glad you're here on a Friday morning here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. It is Connect with me on Me TV Fresno, as always, Monday through Friday. Here's the deal, my friends. Got to give you a little programming note for Monday. I mean, today's program is going to, outstanding. There's no question about it. But on Monday, we've got Gary Bredefeld. Remember him? He was a city council person here in the city of Fresno way back when they announced that, yes, the vote on the stadium came down in favor of building it, and they did. Well, the stadium has been here for 15 years. Gary Bredefeld was a key vote on that council at that time. He'll answer questions about that and anything else. He is running in District 6 against Jeremy Pierce and Holly Carter, of course, and both have been here. Gary Bredefeld has yet to appear on this program, but his first appearance will be here on Monday on Connect with Me, so you can connect with him. Bredefeld, I've known him a long time, and he's a tough, feisty guy. He wants back in the game after a layoff for many years. We'll see what he has to say here on the program on Monday morning. Anyway, you're watching us live on Comcast Channel 375, as usual, Xfinity. If you don't have Comcast cable, hey, we're only on Comcast. I just want to say, I get this question all the time when I walk into stores. I see you on Comcast, but then I switch to Direct or something else. Are you only on Comcast? The answer is yes. Comcast TV all up and down the Central Valley, my friends. And here in the city of Fresno, if you don't have Comcast cable, it's over-the-air broadcast, 43.6, 13.1 if you have an outdoor digital antenna. The replay of this show comes later in the day. For example, if you can only watch 15, 20, 30 minutes of the show and you got to bolt out the door, not a problem. You can't DVR it, not a problem. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 13.6 YouTube, or tonight, prime time, 8 o'clock at 4.6 Biz TV. Those are the replay times and days every day. And then, of course, on YouTube, we're on there 24/7. It stays there until long after you and I are gone off the face of the earth, my friends. Anyway, we're talking politics, and it is the State Assembly seat, District number 31. A very exciting race because, as you may recall, Henry T. Perea vacated the seat. He took a job in private business, and so now a special election is taking place on April the 5th. And the man who wants that job is the son of a former state assemblyman. He has stayed out of politics all this time up until now. Instead, he has focused on a medical career. I want to put his picture up on the screen. You might recognize him. He is 38-year-old Joaquin Arambula, an emergency room doctor at the Adventist Medical Center in Selma. And he is running for state assembly, as I said, District number 31. His father is Juan Arambula, a former state lawmaker who held that same seat some 6 years ago. Now, Arambula is a Democrat with zero political experience. His opponent got 6 years on him. He got a 6-year jump. City Council member Clint Olivier is a 6-year veteran on the Fresno City Council, and although he is big on name recognition, Olivier is short on money compared to Arambula. Now, one of the biggest issues that will come up and may come up is in November. Is Proposition 13 on the fence again, my friends? Is it on the verge of being bumped out of the way? It was passed 38 years ago, June 6, 1978, with nearly 2/3 of California voters passing it, thus reducing property taxes by some 57% across the board, across the state of California. Olivier says he is in favor of keeping Prop 13 as is. What about our guest today? We'll ask him. He's here live in our studio. Is Joaquin Arambula, running for State Assembly District number 31. Where does he stand on Prop 13? Where does he stand on all the other issues? Do you have an issue in mind that you want to call in and ask him a question? That's why he's here. He's here for the first time. Gosh, I mean, you know, he's not here every day, so this is your opportunity to call in and ask a question. You may, in fact, be voting in this race if you fall in that District 31, that area for the State Assembly. You can talk to him directly, 436-MeTV option 11. This program today sponsored by Affordable Walk-In Bathtubs, a very exciting next, 57 minutes left in the program. We're back in just a moment.
Affordable walk-in bathtub allows you to enjoy bathing again without the fear of falling. Tubs come in many sizes and all can be customized to meet specific needs. Boca tubs offer the lowest step-in possible. Ella features luxury and design excellence, and independent home tubs are low noise.
Having an affordable walk-in tub has improved the ability for me to move around easier during the day, and getting in my tub at least twice a week has done wonders with my muscles.
Right now, financing is available that can make your payment as low as $150 a month. Call for details or go online, affordablewalkinbathtubs.net. Take your first step towards safety, security, and feeling better with an affordable walk-in bathtub.
I would highly recommend affordable walk-in tubs for anyone who's looking to get the quality of their life back.
Back here on the program, connect with me on MeTV Fresno. Call in at 436-MeTV option 11. We have a man who wants your vote. Of course, we're going to be doing this all the way up until election time, bringing candidates in and out of the studio as we have the last 4 years on this program. It is a lot of fun every time it's an election year, and this year seems to be more, I think, more unusual is the right word than any other year that I can think of, not only in the local races, but certainly on the presidential side and some of the national races as well. Time to welcome in Joaquin Arambula. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, John.
Good. So I know your last name because I know your father, Juan Arambula, who ran for State Assembly, held that seat for, what, 6 years?
That's correct.
And he's now retired, of course. And so let's get right to it because, you know, this show goes by a lot faster than you might think. You might think, oh, we have an hour to kill, but really it goes by very quickly. So in the monologue, Prop 13, you in favor of keeping it as is?
So I'm going to first answer your question. You said it's one of the most important issues of our community, and I'm going to actually argue with you on that. Look, I believe water is our most important issue, and I want to start by talking about it. I will get to Prop 13. I am running because I believe we need a champion to go to Sacramento and to fight for water. I'm tired of politics as usual. I'm tired of Sacramento and Washington politics strangling our communities. I have seen firsthand as my patients, when they don't have water, don't have jobs. And what I'm concerned about is we need to find a way to make sure that our communities are supported, and that includes long-term storage.
Hang on, caller. Go ahead.
That includes storage. I have short-term, medium-term, long-term answers for water, and I'd love to be able to talk about that, but it sounds like we have a caller right now.
Yeah, hey, go ahead, caller. You're on the air with Joaquin Arambula. Your question, please.
All right, my question is this. If a person who's running for service or whatever gets elected, does let's say the proposition gets elected and voted in, how come the government in Sacramento does not apply to what or adhere to what the voters want? But yet, if they don't like the proposition, then they go ahead and do what they want to do.
Are you referring to some of these propositions that pass and then they go to court and they appeal and then it's overturned?
Exactly. I mean, if it gets voted in by the people,
yeah,
then it should be run by the people.
Okay.
Well, and
I get the gist of your question. So do you believe in overturning a proposition via the court system?
no, I think what the caller in is actually talking about is this distrust that people have with our government. We're tired of politics as usual and politicians as usual, the usual go-rounds who end up running for another office, who run for something in 2010 and then 2012 and 2014 and 2016. We want people to abide by their commitments and to live by their word. And what bothers me is we need politicians who are willing to stand up for what they believe in. I'm tired of politics as usual, and I intend to listen more than I speak, which means I will hear what the people want, and I will carry that forward. I intend to be a true public servant.
Right, but I think what he was intending to ask is, are you in favor of the courts overturning any kind of proposition that is passed by the voters of California?
No, I just generally don't believe that the courts need to legislate for us. I think we, the people, need to legislate. So I'm not supportive in general of the courts legislating for us.
Okay. I do know you want to talk about water. We will talk about water. It is a very important issue. But I do want to get Prop 13 out of the way. So you're in favor of what in terms of Prop 13? Keeping it as is, or do you believe in changing it? Because I think there are a couple of groups out there that are pushing to change Prop 13 in that if you hold property worth $3 million or more, then your property taxes, in fact, will go up dramatically. Those that remain below the $3 million mark, yeah, you'll stay status quo. But John Capal, who is the president of the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, he was a guest on this program just a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying, look, if it starts up on top, it's going to trickle down to the middle class. And if that happens, a lot of people might lose their homes. So I'd like to know, just as a candidate, where do you stand on Prop 13?
Prop 13 is 38 years old. And anything that's 38 years old, I think, needs to always be relooked at and possibly revamped. But I'm not suggesting anything or supporting anything. I need to spend more time looking into Prop 13 to figure out if anything needs to be changed. Quite frankly, I think there's a competitive disadvantage that certain family farmers have when they are paying taxes today compared with people who are paying taxes from 38 years ago. Now, my belief is that, we the people need to actually listen. We have to stop having politicians who think they're smarter than the people. Politicians need to start being accountable. They need to actually listen to the people, which starts by showing up to your job.
So you haven't decided yet what side of the fence you fall on Prop 13. When will you make that decision?
Well, like I said earlier, John, I think there are more pertinent issues. I think talking about water and education and health care.
We will get to that because we have a whole hour
is...
here, but let's stick with Prop 13 for now. You haven't decided yet.
No, I'm still looking into it, John.
You're still looking into it. We have not from now until April the 5th, I guess, right?
That's correct, but I won't do anything without talking to the voters and hearing their input and deciding based on what I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, here's part of the problem. Let's put up a graphic called pre-Prop 13 because I do want to talk about that just a little bit. And you come from a farming family. Prior to Proposition 13, property taxes were out of control. People were losing their homes because they could not pay their property taxes, yet government did nothing to help them out. Now, the reason I say you come from a farming family, your family comes from Selma, I believe, right?
Nope, I was born in Delano.
Not you personally, but you have a farming family in the Central Valley.
My father was a farm worker, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
And he grew up in the unincorporated Pixley area outside of Delano.
Outside of Delano,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But a lot of farmers may, in fact, they're afraid they might lose their homes if Prop 13, in fact, does get on the ballot and then they pass it.
I'm going to bring this back again, John, and I really hope that we can help to direct the conversation because in many ways the voters, when I'm talking to them at the door, front to face, they're not talking about Prop 13. They're talking about water. And so I'd really like us to talk about water because I have short-term, medium-term, and long-term solutions. I have some ideas for where I think our state needs to go. And quite frankly, what I'm tired of and disappointed with is that we haven't done a major water infrastructure project since John F. Kennedy. It's been 50 years. And politics, as usual, must change. We have to start thinking about the future and where we're going. And what I see are politics and politicians who are not accountable to the people.
Okay. Okay, we will get to water because I was asking John Capal about this too when I talked to him on the telephone a couple of weeks back. And I was saying, you know, I don't know how much in tune people are in with this issue because a lot of people are focused on water. He said if Proposition 13 is changed, people will forget about water because they'll be losing their farms and their homes. So it will become a secondary issue. I do have to go to break. 436 Me TV option 11. We will talk about water. We will talk about everything that our guest does want to talk about, but there's some issues here on the table that we do need to get to as well. I'm going to put this call on hold because I got to go to a break. Caller, can you hang on until after the break?
You betcha.
You got it, my friend. I appreciate your patience and time and understanding. 436 Me TV, option 11. We are here with Joaquin Arambula. Comes from a very political background. His family does. His father, Juan Arambula, a state assemblyman for a long time, my friends, well known here in the Central Valley. Back with more in just a moment.
Revin is now on KBHF channel 4.4.
Back here on the program, Joaquin Arambula is, of course, here as our guest. He wants your vote. District number 31, State Assembly. It's an open seat right now. Henry T. Perea vacated that seat, of course, and now the April 5th election is just around the corner. Caller, what say you? You're on the line. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question for Dr. Arambula regarding health care. What role can you play in the Assembly to bring more attention to health care issues to the state of California in general and more specifically to your constituency?
Thank you. Thank you, caller. I really appreciate the question. You know, I have lived and breathed healthcare. I have been on the front lines taking care of the sick and most vulnerable in our communities. As an emergency room doctor, I love that I don't have to look in your wallet or your passport. I take care of the human beings who are there around me, and I love it. I'm a healer, and it's ingrained within me. I hope to be the health conscience of the legislature. Currently, there's not one single physician, not one person who's practiced medicine who can speak to where the rubber meets the road. And what I am concerned about is they are not aware of the problems that we have. Let me be specific. Last year, California added nearly 3 million people to healthcare. 3 million people. But they didn't add one more doctor to take care of them, not one. Those of us who are practicing medicine are wondering where our reinforcements are. I look here in the Central Valley, and the problems that I notice are systemic. We have roughly half the number of doctors as LA and the Bay, half. And because of that, it's harder
we're a smaller area, smaller
per capita.
city.
No, it's actually per capita. So
Okay.
looking at per 1,000 people, we have half the number of doctors that LA
Okay.
and the Bay does.
Okay.
And my concern is that's why it's hard to access care. Now, medical literature will tell you that 60% of the people who do their training stay within 50 miles of where they do their training. We don't have a training facility, a medical school here in the Valley, and one of the things that I intend to go to Sacramento to do is to fight to bring a medical school back home, because I believe that our doctors need to start looking like us, sounding like us, being from our community, so they will want to stay here. I want my girls to be able to go to school here in the Valley, and I think that's a wonderful thing that I can bring to the state legislature. It's an outside perspective, someone who's actually had some private sector experience who can add something.
Do you believe in a single-payer system for health care?
I don't believe that I'm the smartest person in my family. I don't believe I'm the smartest person in this room. I believe that I'm supposed to listen and carry forward.
But do you believe in a single-payer system or the way it is now?
No, I actually believe we have to do a hybrid system and start looking at what
Which
are the
means
best
what?
practices. Specifically, how can other people...
What's a hybrid system? What does that mean?
It means looking at other industrialized areas that provide health care for half the cost that we do and do better metrics. It means believing that there is a better method of practicing practicing medicine than the way we are currently doing it. I think it's too expensive. I think healthcare is currently broken.
What should we do? What kind of a system should we have then? Do you have an idea for that?
I do. We should focus on more prevention than treatment. It costs $1 to prevent a disease. It costs $17 to treat it. We need to focus more on primary care and getting away from specialty care. So what I believe is we actually need to start incentivizing and encouraging people to go into the primary care specialties so we can start preventing diseases more than treating it. And that will make it so it's more cost effective and we will be spending less money on healthcare. And quite honestly, that's the way I want to support business.
Well, here in California, we have Covered California. That's part of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. Do you believe in keeping that system the way it is? Because the presidential talk in the debates between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, Hillary wants to modify Obamacare. Bernie Sanders says, no, look, we have to have a single payer system in this country, just like Medicare. Which side of the ledger do you fall on?
John, I believe...
Hang on, caller.
John, first and foremost, I believe those of us who have actually been on the front lines are best equipped to answer those questions and best able to fix what's broken in our system. Just as I believe
So which side of the ledger? Do you go with Bernie Sanders or do you go with Hillary Clinton in terms of their ideas in healthcare?
I think that's a false choice, and quite honestly, I believe here in California we can create a healthcare system that the rest of the nation can follow.
But do you like the system that's in place now, Covered California?
John, I think you're trying to put me into a box and a silo, and
I just want to know where you stand on the issue. That's all.
No, look. I think,
mean, you're in the medical field. I mean, you should have an idea as to what you want for your patients and for the general public. If you like the system that's in place now, you certainly know if you like it, or if you dislike it.
John, I am seeing patients who cannot access care
because
there are not enough doctors. Because they don't have anywhere to go, because people are not taking...
They can't access care because there are not enough doctors or because of their health care system?
It's the Medi-Cal reimbursement rates. We're 50th of 50 states. We don't have enough doctors who are taking Medi-Cal. Most of our community is on Medi-Cal, specifically in this district. Healthcare is broken.
Hang on, caller. Go ahead.
Healthcare is broken and it must be fixed.
Hi,
hang on, caller. Hey, caller, hang on a second. It must... You said it's broken. It must be fixed to what? What degree?
John, look, at some point, I believe as a physician that I will have better insights than politicians.
We know you want more doctors. You want a medical facility, a training facility here. But what about the access to health care? That's very important because I don't know what the percentage is of this people. Many people have called Fresno in the Central Valley the Appalachia of the West, where, you may not have enough doctors, but people here may not be able to afford their monthly premiums on health care either. So what do we do on that end to fix that?
I think you have to, look, I think there's going to be fundamental shifts in healthcare. Fundamental shifts. We actually have to change our delivery model and start focusing on prevention rather than treatment.
All right, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Ben. I'm a resident of Sanger, California. And a couple of weeks ago, I received a poll question or a poll call asking if I would still vote for Dr. Arambula if I knew that he had had 2 DUIs, one for twice the legal limit. I'd never heard that before, and so first off, I was wondering if that's true, and if so, what does that say about the judgment of the doctor?
Well, I must say I can see when a call has been planted and when it's coming from the Olivier or another campaign, and I think it's laughable. But I will tell you, look, I was young and dumb. I was 21 and I got a wet reckless. It happens. It was a mistake. It was something I lived through, and I've moved on from there. Since then, I've never had any issues, nor will I. I practice emergency medicine. I see firsthand what drunk driving does. I've seen what impaired driving does, and I won't stand for it. And so I think that was half a lifetime ago, and quite frankly, I don't think it pertains to this race at all.
Okay, let's move on. Thanks, caller. Let's move on. I got sidetracked here, and I'm running out of time. I got sidetracked. I do want to put up. I want to talk about this one more time, and then we're going to move on. I want to finish up on Prop 13. I know you haven't decided yet, but I want our viewers to look at this full screen graphic. It's called Signatures. Okay. Right now, there is a group that is out there trying to gather all these signatures, and the man who heads that group is Conway Collis. He is the president and CEO of Grace. That is a Christian-based organization trying to put this on the ballot. The measure has already gained, and I think that graphic is a little bit off. They've gained more than 50% of the needed 580 5,000 signatures needed to qualify for the November ballot. Caller, hang on. I want to finish this up, and I want to put up another full screen. It's called Proposal. This proposal will be applied on a sliding scale, and we talked about that before. $3 million or more will get taxed. And then one more, surcharge. All right, put that up, surcharge, because this is very important. This is how much money that Prop 13 will raise for the state of California if implemented. Anywhere from $6 billion to $7 billion a year starting in 2017, 2018. That's going to be the growth of the revenue in the state of California. So you must be looking at this seriously, considering the growth of that, the revenue in the state of California. It's going to give us $7 to $8 billion more a year, perhaps.
Look, I have to tell you, I was a taxpayer. I'm a private citizen. I've worked for a living. I am concerned about the taxes we pay and in the inefficiencies and ineffectiveness of our government. And we must demand more, and we must demand accountability. But I will also listen to the people. I believe that it's imperative that before we decide on a course of action, that you hear people out. And so if people have concerns about Prop 13, I would love to hear them. I would love to be able to speak to you about it.
But you haven't decided yet?
No. I have not. I mean, I'm one of those who actually likes to read the bills. The proposition has not been said. It's not on the ballot. Those decisions have not been made yet.
It may get on the ballot. We don't know yet. We don't know if they're going to get the signatures. They have more than half right now. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi. I just tuned in right when you started talking about health care, and I'm really upset, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't know if you live like the rest of the real world in this state does, but let me tell you what has happened to me as a result of this covered CA/Obamacare, or whatever you want to call it. Before this happened in 2013, I had regular insurance through Blue Cross Anthem, and it was fine. It was like $100 a month, very low co-pays. I don't recall ever having to pay a deductible. Then, of course, I get the letter saying it was canceled. Okay, so I was told I had to go to covered CA, which I did. Covered CA tells me, and that's Obamacare for anybody who's listening, they tell me, sorry, you don't make enough money to qualify for a federal subsidy, which, by the way, I never needed prior to this.
Well, wait a minute. That's not correct. That's not correct. It's if you make too much money that you don't qualify. It's not if you don't make enough. Go ahead, caller.
No, I didn't make enough money to be in that system. So they kicked me over to my county welfare people, told me I had to apply for health care through the county. Okay. Now the county compute your income differently. They go by the past 3 months, whereas the state itself, or federal, whatever that works out to be, goes by your annual income.
Are you talking about Medi-Cal? Are you talking about Medi-Cal?
Yeah, exactly. And so, I was without any kind of coverage for a long time. Then once I actually qualified through Medi-Cal, I couldn't find a primary care doctor who would even take new Medi-Cal patients. So I don't know why you politicians are obsessed with my health care or interfering in this and limiting my health care to how much money I make. I mean, that's crazy. If I make $10K a year, but I want to buy a new car, that should be my business. You shouldn't be telling me I'm restricted to purchasing a certain type of car because of my income. So I just wish that you people would leave us alone, stop interfering in our health care. If I want government help, I'll...
Got it. Want to respond to that?
So I do. I mean, look, I think people are frustrated with government as usual. I mean, I hear at the door every day that I am walking precincts about how frustrated they are with politics as usual. And what they're tired of are politicians from hundreds to thousands of miles away telling us how to run our business. I believe those of us who have practiced medicine, who are on the front lines, are best able to fix healthcare. And I, too, am tired.
I understand that you've already told us, or at least you've told our audience here, that you believe in more doctors. I don't think anybody would be against that. How can you be against that? Can't we want more doctors? Of course we do. We want more options, more choices. No problem with that. And certainly no problem with preventative care. It's common sense. Hello, if you're going to go to McDonald's every day, nothing against McDonald's, okay? Let's not have any lawsuits here. But if you're going to eat fast food every single day and not take care of your health and don't exercise, don't go to the doctor, then that doesn't make much sense.
John,
we understand that, but what do you do? How do you answer that woman's question? And it was my question earlier. How do you answer this question about covered California, Obamacare, losing the option to go to your primary doctor and then not being able to find a doctor because you don't have the right insurance, you can't afford the monthly premium, now you got to go to Medi-Cal, and it's just all fouled up.
And I can't.
So how do you fix that?
I can't say it clearly enough. Healthcare is broken. Healthcare,
how do you fix it?
It doesn't work for people. You start by sending me to Sacramento. You start by sending me, as someone who has worked in the field, who has experience, to be able to start fixing the problems. We cannot
But what
trust...
do you do to fix it? That's what I don't understand.
I'll pull together the California Medical Association and Dental Association and speak to nurses and doctors and nurse practitioners and PAs, everyone who is involved within the system. Talk to patients about where the systems are broken and why they can't navigate.
See, this is a personal issue for you, but how many of those people up in Sacramento will care about it?
Well,
you're a doctor, you care about it, but how do you convince them?
I think we start by just talking about facts. I believe in metrics. I'm a scientist by trade. I believe you have to follow the numbers. And for me, when I look at it, we live shorter lives here in America compared with other industrialized countries. On average, 2.2 years shorter.
Yeah, in some of those countries, they smoke like chimneys, they eat what they want, and they live to be 100 or more. Caller, we got to go to break. I will take your call after the break. Can you hang on?
Yes, sir.
You got it. 436-MeTV, option 11. Joaquin Arambula is here. Apparently, he's a very popular guy. We're getting a lot of phone calls today, my friends. What does that tell us? 436-MeTV, option 11. Affordable walk-in bathtubs is our sponsor today here on the program.
Specific needs. Boca Tubs offer the lowest step-in possible. Ella features luxury and design excellence, and independent home tubs are low noise.
Having an affordable walk-in tub has improved the ability for me to move around easier during the day, and getting in my tub at least twice a week has done wonders with my muscles.
Right now, financing is available that can make your payment as low as $150 a month. Call for details or go online, affordablewalkinbathtubs.net. Take your first step towards safety, security, and feeling better with an affordable walk-in bathtub.
I would highly recommend affordable walk-in tubs for anyone who's looking to get the quality of their life back.
The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance. Enjoy generous-sized cooktops and saute or simmer with ease, while true convection ovens offer even baking and juicy roasting perfection. Foods stay their freshest in spacious refrigerators with convenient controls and clear filtered ice and water. Easy to clean surfaces reduce fingerprints, and the quietest of dishwashers makes cleanup a snap. The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance.
Back here on the program, Connect with Me. I'm so honored and pleased that we have Joaquin Arambula in the house today talking about health care and some other issues, and a lot to get to here. Caller, you're on the line. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. Good show. My question is that we're already the most taxed state in the union. And just a simple question, it's kind of on the line of the topic that's underlying everything. Would Mr. Arambula consider succeeding from the United States, so that we're already the most taxed, so we don't really need them? Would it, if the majority of Californians, which it has been a talk, would you consider succeeding from the nation?
No, I would not. And, I must say, my father is the first of his family to be born here in America, and I am so proud to be an American because it has provided opportunities for me and my family to achieve our dreams. My father was one of the first dozen or two Latinos to ever go to Harvard, and I achieved my dream of becoming a doctor. And I came back to my community to practice here because this place matters to me. I have roots here in the San Joaquin Valley. This is my home, and I'm passionate about it, and I would never want to secede from America.
Okay, let me ask you about your, where did you get your medical degree? Where did you,
University of Minnesota.
Okay, so you went 4 years, but you fell short of your residency, right? Right? You went residency for how long?
3 years. I'm a licensed physician by the state of California. I've been practicing for the last 9 years as an emergency room doctor in Selma. I'm proud of my career and have taken care of nearly 50,000 patients.
Yeah. Should you finish?
No, I mean, like I said, I'm proud of my career, and
Should you go
the work
one more
I'm doing.
year for residency, though? No?
No, I mean, I'm proud of what I did.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about health care. We've talked a little bit about Proposition 13. Something that may come up on the ballot also is the use of marijuana. There are a lot of proposals out there right now, and I've looked online. There must be a dozen proposals out there that people want to put this thing on the ballot to legalize marijuana in the state of California. Do you know where you stand on that issue?
As an emergency room doctor, I've seen a lot of my patients, many of them who are veterans who have chronic medical conditions which benefit from medical cannabis, and because of that, I'm supportive of medical cannabis. In terms of broader,
hang on, caller.
In terms of broader regulation, I would want to make sure that there are safeguards in place before we just generally deregulated it. I'd want to make sure that it could never get into the hands of children and that children weren't exposed to it. Specifically, I'm very concerned about vaping, which has tripled its usage in teenage children, and I'm concerned that that would translate into more people starting to smoke. The secondary thing that I would want to make sure is that our law enforcement people have the tools necessary to be able to test if someone is inebriated before they're driving.
Yeah, we're looking at this video here. We're looking at a lot of marijuana grows that are illegal in the county of Fresno. Sheriff Margaret Mizman has been here. Jerry Dyer has been here many times talking about how difficult it is to eradicate some of these grows, and it's big time money, and many of these are being controlled by, people out of state, out of the country, south of the border, as you well know. So, as I understand your answer, hang on, caller. Hang on. Are you there? Get to you in a moment. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you hang on a second here and just put the caller on hold? I just want to clarify. You're in favor of medical marijuana, but legalizing marijuana for recreational use. Where do you stand on that?
I think the voters are going to pass it come November.
Are you in favor?
Generally, I am. I would want to make sure the safeguards are in place. I would want to make sure that law enforcement has the tools, that we keep it out of the hands of children, and that...
Why do you favor it for recreational use?
As a physician, I'm not sure there's much of a difference between having a drink of alcohol, smoking a cigarette, or smoking whatever you'd like. And so, frankly, I think the government sticks its hand in business into too many things, and I don't see it as a huge issue, and it's not something I want to talk about a whole bunch. Because quite honestly, we still need to talk about water, John. You said we had an hour, and we were going to come back to it.
But I want to get to the issues that are important too, and that's an important issue. So you do favor.
John,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Everywhere I go, people talk about water, and I never get to talk about water enough. I mean, I want to be here and to be a champion for the Valley, and to be a champion for the Valley, you have to talk about water.
We will. Believe me. Caller, you're on the line quickly because we're running short on time here. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. You're talking about the marijuana issue, but let me tell the doctor, Joaquin, people say, well, it's good for medical, whatever reason, okay? But that also... It also deteriorates the brain, and when I was young, I took it, and it was, oh, no way, I'm going to take this, and it hurts the system. Okay, you're a doctor, and you got to be honest with yourself. I know they may pass and everything, but the thing is this: that marijuana will go into another effect as far as cocaine and whatever. Nobody can tell me different because when I was younger, LSD was a big thing.
Okay.
That started.
All right. Go ahead. You get the gist. You want to respond?
No, I mean, look, I think we've answered that question. I'd really prefer if we could get back to water.
Okay. So he is suggesting that marijuana might lead to cocaine use and all that kind of stuff. So as a medical doctor, you don't agree with that?
No, I don't. And I think we're always faced with a lot of these false choices that it must be this or that, and the reality is I just don't believe that.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about water and high-speed rail at the same time, because the talk is now, do you agree, I know I got a minute here and I got to go to a break, but geez, I got a call here too. Okay, you see what a box I'm put in myself here as host, huh? You see my tough job?
I do, John.
All right, Joaquin, let's try to get through this together here, because we only have about 22 minutes left. Caller, I'm going to put you on hold, okay? Got that? Can you hear me? Caller?
Yes.
I'm going to put you on hold for a second, because I gotta ask this question. So, are you in favor of taking about $8 or $9 or $10 million out of the high-speed rail fund to put it into funding projects for water projects here in the Central Valley?
No, I read that article 2 days ago in the Fresno Bee where they talked about Manuel Cunha of the Nisai Farmers League and how that was, again, another one of these false
You're
choices.
against doing that?
No, I believe we paid for a water project. I think we need to start getting our results, which means, you know, we passed Prop 1. It's time to actually provide those results and start building a dam.
Okay, here's high-speed rail right here. You're not in favor of taking any money out of high-speed rail for water?
I think, again, these are false choices. I believe in building both. I think we need the jobs here in the Central Valley. We have nearly double-digit unemployment.
The answer to the question, you're not in favor of taking that money out of high-speed rail for water?
I am not, no.
Okay. All right. High-speed rail, and I do want to talk, we're going to talk about water, but high-speed rail, I want to get to this right now. Article, front page of the Fresno Bee, a big one here. Okay. The Burbank to Fresno line being stalled, being delayed because it costs too much to cut through the mountains of LA. I'm talking about, of course, the Grapevine Mountains. It's just very costly. So they're going to start in San Jose and go down to Bakersfield. What do you think about that? Should they have thought this out more in terms of high-speed rail and what it's going to cost and how difficult a project it was going to be to crash through those mountains in LA?
Sure, they should have. But, you know, the reality is when you pass a proposition, I'd rather see those types of laws passed by our legislature. I think the legislature needs to have the courage to be able to pass these types of things rather than passing them down to the voter to ask them to vote on a one paragraph when we don't see all of the details.
Is high-speed rail a mistake?
I don't think high-speed rail is a mistake. I think it's building for the future. Look, at some point, people ask me to identify myself. I'm a Kennedy Democrat. And I'm a Kennedy Democrat because my grandfather, my mom's dad, was JFK's campaign manager in the 1950s when he ran for United States Senate. My father got to meet Robert Kennedy when he broke Cesar Chavez's fast. I believe what Kennedy did, that we need to stop dealing with the crisis of today and start planning for tomorrow. And that includes dealing with dams and storage and planning for tomorrow.
Okay, caller, are you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, Dr. Arambula, you're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you, brother.
If we divert money from this high-speed rail, basically, aren't we just going to get the tracks in and not have enough money for the train?
No, I mean, I think the train's already left the station, quite honestly, and I think it's time for us to start talking about how we can bring more resources back home. Those are good jobs. Those are good paying jobs, and we need to support that. You know, our community is suffering. I look around. We have nearly double-digit unemployment. We come from the poorest part of the state. We need those jobs to help boost our economy, and I want to start finding other ways to support it. Specifically, I want to talk about cap-and-trade dollars and how we can start bringing more resources back home. Can we have a catalytic investment from cap-and-trade dollars to areas that are most affected? Currently, the state is dedicated 25% at a minimum to go to disadvantaged areas like ours. I think that number should be increased to incrementally to 30 or 35% until we start catching up to the rest of the state and our unemployment start matching the rest of the state.
All right. Thank you, caller, very much. I promise we get to water. I don't know if we have any videotape here. What kind of water projects would you propose to improve our water situation? Do you agree that we need more storage here in California and that we're using too much water to drain out into the system, into the San Francisco Bay?
I do, absolutely. Now, I have to tell you where I come from on this issue. My father got in trouble a decade ago for standing up to Sacramento politicians because he insisted we needed Temperance Flat Dam. Now, hang
on, caller.
He was stripped of his chairmanship. He was thrown out of his office. He was thrown into the doghouse, if many people remember, because he stood and fought for water. We would be in a better place today if we had listened a decade ago. And right now, we need to start planning. We already paid for it. We paid for it with Prop 1.
You're talking about the water bond?
The water bond.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is that going to be enough to build Temperance Flat?
Currently, they're deciding between whether or not that's going to be at Sites or Temperance Flat. I would love for that to be in our backyard.
You know, in my mind, if they build Temperance Flat, that means they have more water to flush down into the ocean.
Well, I don't want it to flush out to the ocean. I have short-term,
but
medium-term.
But there'll be a fight over that too.
John, let me.
We got Feinstein and Boxer in the Senate. They're not going to, if they have more water to release downstream, they're going to do it.
John, there are answers if we will start asking the right questions. I sat down with Rich Matthias of the California Farm Bureau, and he said that California was one of the only states west of the Mississippi that does not say it's a beneficial use to put water back underneath the ground. I think it's imperative that we change that law and start creating a bank account for the next time we have a drought. We start putting water back underneath the ground instead of flushing it out to the ocean. So I will try and pass that law when I go to Sacramento and start telling the stories of my patients.
You sound like a conservative now. You want more storage.
I'm from the Valley.
You sound like a Republican.
I'm from the Valley. I understand our issues. I was born and raised here. These issues matter to me, and my community does. And I have seen as we have been strangled by their politics, and I will insist. I don't think it's a Republican...
You're not worried about alienating members of your party?
Look, I come from the sensible center. I come from a part of the state where we actually go for what's best for our valley, and I will stand for what's best in our valley, and that is more water.
I don't know, it just seems to me, and I mean, okay, let's build, Temperance Flat, no problem. We'll have more water, more storage, but will we have more storage? Or will politicians decide that's more water they can flush down into the ocean so they can satisfy the Delta smelt and the salmon run and all this stuff? So, there's going to be a big fight over that even if they build it in the next 20 years. So, caller, you've been patient. Go ahead. You're on the line, and you're on the air.
Okay, John, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a couple of comments that I want to make. For one, I think they should have put the vote about the high-speed rail to the people because it would have got voted down in the first place, because I'm against it. I think we need the water more than we need that train in California. There's a lot of things that they could use that money for besides a high-speed rail that would be more important. That's the way I feel about it. And then... You guys are talking about Democratic Party and Republican parties. I think they ought to do away with it. They can't agree on anything, and the people that pay for the people, because they butt heads and they're always arguing and fighting. I don't care what they are, as long as they do what's right. When they get in office, do what's right for the people.
Fair enough.
Screw the Republican Party. Screw the Democratic Party. Just do what's right for a change instead of screwing the people around. That's all I had to say.
You sound like me. You ought to host the program.
Yeah, I do, because you see it on TV. These guys butt heads.
No, I know.
They can't come to an agreement, and we're the ones that are paying for it. They're insubordinate.
I couldn't agree anymore.
I've said that on this program many times. Why don't you just do what's right? Who cares about the label in front of your name? I don't care what your label is. Duh, it doesn't take a scientist or a brain surgeon to figure out that we need water storage. We need more water for humans. I mean, it's a toss-up. If you have goldfish in your house, are you going to give more water to your goldfish than you are yourself or your kids?
Look,
what's more important?
I'm a human doctor. I take care of humans, and the humans in our valley are suffering because we do not have enough water. On my truck, I have a bumper sticker which says "More damn storage." I believe it's time for us to do it. But hold on, I want to come to the caller just for a second.
Go ahead. Is he still there?
No, but the caller had said, prioritize. And if it came down to, and I had to prioritize one over the other, I would say the dam comes first. The dam over high-speed rail.
Okay.
But I think it's a false choice, and I think that's something that pundits.
Why a false choice?
I don't think we have to make a choice between one or the other. I think we have to do both. I think we have to start looking at the fact that we have the worst air quality in the nation here in the Central Valley.
There's Temperance Flat right there. It may or may never be built. We don't know yet.
That kids suffer to breathe air in our communities because of our air quality. We have to start addressing that as well.
All right. Caller, you're on the air. Make it very quick. Got to go to break.
Hello. Yes, I have a question on the water. I live in Tulare County, and the water situation here is the ground sinking by inches, and we're losing aquifer space. And the scientists say it takes 55 years for water from the surface to reach the aquifers.
Okay, that's it?
Well, plus two, they've been planting in Tulare County. They've been planting walnuts. There's no stopping. There haven't been no spots where they haven't been planting. It's
all right. We got
massive. A lot of trees.
Well,
comment. Go ahead.
Sure. I don't want the government to tell farmers what to grow on their land. I don't want the government to come in and tell me what to cook in my kitchen. So, I think farmers run a free market and they plant what they need to plant. Now, I think it's our job to make sure that we have enough water for our communities to survive, and I don't think we've provided enough infrastructure because we have not done a major project in 50 years. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of politics as usual, and think we need to start having outsiders, those of us who come from a different direction, who can start speaking about these problems in different ways, start to solve problems.
A quick answer to this question here, and then I got to go to break. If somebody were to hold your feet to the fire, you say you would choose water over high-speed rail, then why not take that $8 million out of high-speed rail and give it to water?
Yeah, I think it's a false choice. I mean, I've said it once, and I still do.
All right, good deal. Joaquin Arambula is here. He wants your vote on April the 5th, District 31, State Assembly, 436 MeTV, option 11. Still a little bit of time left here. I told you, my friends, this hour goes by fast, doesn't it? Affordable walk-in bathtubs is our sponsor today on the program. Back in a moment.
Untamed Sports is now on KBHF 4.3.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
Back here on the program, connect with me. Caller, quickly, running out of time. What's your question?
My comment is that Dr. Arambula said that we have air pollution in this valley, and that's true. As a 75-year-old asthmatic, I can verify that. And the only way to cut that down is to limit the amount of driving people do. I would suggest rationing days that people can drive. People can drive, certain license numbers can drive one day, others another day. One out of every 3 days would be right. Otherwise, you use mass transit, walk, or buy yourself a bicycle. Because I and a lot of children who are becoming asthmatic because of this air want to breathe.
All right.
Thank you for listening, gentlemen. Good morning.
Thank you. Have a good morning. What do you do about the air pollution, quickly?
So, first off, it's a big problem. Over the summer, we had a 400% increase in asthma exacerbations due to the rough fires, the fires that were happening up in the mountains. And it's concerning to me when kids can't breathe and we can't get them the treatment. I think we have to start looking at transit as a part of that answer. I also will look towards private industry. Just yesterday, I was meeting with a waste management company that had converted their trucks over to compressed natural gas, which do not emit as much carbon emissions. And I was impressed that they wanted to do this because they felt an obligation to help here in the valley.
All right, 3 more issues I want to get to quickly before we run out of time. You can make a final statement if you want. How much money do you have in your coffers right now? Campaign.
I don't have that answer. It's
I've heard it's around $700,000. Is that close?
I don't think that's anywhere near close, but.
You don't know, but okay. Where do most of your donors come from?
Look,
okay, I just want to backtrack on that because I don't know that to be true. Okay, so I'm going to retract that statement. I don't know how much you have. That's why I asked you. So
we had raised about $300,000 by the end of December, and I'm proud of the work that we've done.
And more since then.
And more since then.
Okay. Where do most of your donors come from?
From everywhere. I mean, it's teachers and nurses and firefighters and people who have been on the front lines. We're building a broad coalition.
And why are they supporting you?
Because I think they like my message. I think they like the idea that it's not politics as usual. It's someone who's coming from the outside, someone who has had practical life experience, who can add something to the discussion.
Okay.
I will bring a fresh voice to Sacramento.
All right. I know that Clint Olivier, your opponent, has about I think about $135,000 that he has raised, so far less than what you have in the bank right there. There's Clint Olivier, the current city councilman, running also for this District 31 seat state assembly. Two more quickies, and then you can have your final statement. Minimum wage hike, you favor that from $10 to $15?
No,
Quickly, yes or no?
No, I support raising the wage. I fundamentally believe that currently the minimum wage of...
You're in favor of raising it to $15?
I'm in favor of raising the wage.
Okay. All right. Are you in favor of raising the tobacco tax on any tobacco products?
I think that's an interesting discussion that needs to also be looked at, and much akin to how Prop 13 is. You know, I think it's imperative, since we were the most progressive state in the nation, to come out with a cigarette tax and have not adjusted it in the 27 or so years since.
So you're not sure where you stand on it yet?
No, the tobacco tax is, again, one of these propositions. Look, I'm staying focused on the next 47 days. I'm trying to get elected, and that means I actually have to be able to...
But some of these issues, though, that you maybe, have you thought about, I need to get a stance on these because the election's coming up, and voters need to know where I stand on some of these issues.
I believe in being a public servant. I don't think I have to be the smartest person in the room and come up with all the answers. I need to listen to the voters. And if the voters are supportive of it, if I go around to my community and
Shouldn't
I feel
you have a stance one way or the other, though, so the voters know?
I believe in a representative government, which means I will influence my decision-making on it. But quite honestly, I think the voters are the people. And I think we need to be more
so you're
representative.
up in the air on Prop 13 and up in the air on the tobacco tax. All right. So we don't know where you stand on either of those two issues, but you do have a final minute here. Look in that camera there and tell the voters why Joaquin Arambula is the best candidate in your mind.
I am a son of the Valley. I was born and raised here. This is my home. I care deeply and passionately about my community, and I am leaving my profession because I want to go to Sacramento to be the voice of the Valley. I want to carry a strong voice up to Sacramento to tell them our problems, that we need to fight for a healthier Valley, that we need to fight for a healthy water supply and a healthy economy and a better healthcare access system and an education system which provides opportunities. I have been blessed in this life, and I think it's my turn to give back. And so I am vying to be a public servant, and I could use your vote on April 5th. So please reach out to me at joaquinarambula.com. Please feel free to call me or come to our campaign office, 264-3131. That's our campaign office. Our campaign is at 1330 North Washon. It's in Tower District. I grew up around there. My parents got married at St. Therese. I believe that we need a government to start who needs to be from the Valley so that they can be the voice of the Valley.
Right. We got how much time left, guys? How much time? 30 seconds? Okay, give you another 10, quickly. No?
I want to say hello to my wife, who is my queen and has allowed me to run for office. She married a physician, and she didn't have to do this, and I love you, mi amor. Thank you, Elizabeth.
All right, thank you, Joaquin
Thank you, John.
Arambula. I really appreciate it. We're going to see you back here next month. I got you booked for one more appearance here before the April 5th election. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and thanks to your campaign manager out there, Rich McIntyre, who brought you in. Appreciate it. Tell your father I said hello. I haven't seen him in a long time, years. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. See you back here on Monday with a name from the past. Well, I guess you could say my name is a name from the past, too. Gary Bredefeld is on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Glad you could join us.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to digital channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV guide.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answer?